How y'all doing? Walls. When are we gonna see walls? Dude, walls are going up. Walls are like here. Most of the walls are done. It's looking good. It's looking good down there. They've finished the ceiling and walls. They finished the ceiling and walls in that large main room. That room is totally drywalled, done being drywalled, which is insane, by the way. Like we're doing a studio tour that'll go live like next Monday. It's like a week, like in 9 days. How's your day been going? It's been good. How about you, Scorpion? Like this isn't just like, all right, slap a piece of drywall everywhere. Like this has been insane drywalling. Like the ceiling, first of all, the ceiling has RSIC clips and hat channel, meaning there's a clip up the drywall isn't just screwed directly into the frame because that brings any vibrations from the floor above down below. In fact, I'm gonna wait a couple minutes to explain this. You know what? I'm not, because we're gonna talk about it. The early people get to hear this, and then I'll talk about it in a little bit more detail in the tour that we're putting up next week. If you screw drywall directly into the ceiling, any footstep vibrations, right? You're walking on the floor above, that gets transferred down into the ceiling, making the ceiling vibrate, which essentially turns the ceiling into a giant speaker. That's when you get a ton of sound and footsteps from the floor above. So we did is we screwed these. I'm actually going to show you what it's an ISO clip. I'll just do RSIC clip. RSIC clip. Yeah. So these are what we're using. We've got like super heavy. These are the super intense ones right here that we're using in the studio. But essentially this rubber thing screws into the ceiling. And so this metal plate here is suspended in rubber. Like there's no, like all the rubber absorbs the vibration, and this doesn't feel nearly any of the vibration coming from the floor above, right? So, and then there's this thing called hat channel, which is this right here, right? It's called, that's not a good, here we go. Hat channel goes into the clip here. It's called a hat channel because it looks like a hat. It's upside down there. If it were right side up, trying to give it a good, imagine this way. It looks like a top hat. So it's called hat channel. That goes in there, and then the drywall is screwed into this portion right here. So none of the vibration, or almost all the vibration from the top floor, gets eliminated before it goes into the ceiling, right? And then we did 2 layers of drywall. So that's what our ceiling is. Which is insane. By the way, Alkaline Expert, welcome back for 6 months. It's like putting drywall on a shock mount. Exactly. It's like putting your ceiling on a shock mount. It's exactly what it is. So can the drywall possibly fall if you put it directly to the ceiling? No, falling has no, there's, as long as it's secured properly, it's not going to fall off. It's just a matter of putting it on these hat channels so that there's no vibration from the top floor going into the bottom floor. And we walk around, like I had Kenzie walk around in the kitchen because we've got, it's not real hardwood floor. We went vinyl for cost effective reasons, and also because it's waterproof. We got a vinyl fake hardwood floor over this entire area. You can hardly hear anything. The cameras won't pick up a thing. It's dope. It sounds amazing. So there's going to be like 0 footsteps coming through. When I was filming in the last place, you know, all those videos we shot, I'll show you. You guys know what I'm talking about. Hold on a second. Alpha Gaming. Where's the room? Where's the room? This room. You guys know this room. You guys know this room. This was directly underneath the kitchen in our last place. And the kitchen was linoleum floors or whatever. And when I was shooting in there, I had to go up almost every single time and be like, Kenzie, please stop walking in the kitchen, because it was like, and I had to stop shooting because it would get picked up in the mic. You can't hear, the mics won't pick up anything with this new setup. Dude, I'm so pumped about it. So they've finished. Oh, so that's the ceiling, and then the walls, the exterior walls are fine. But anytime there's drywall going between two rooms, right? We're putting in drywall, but underneath the drywall is called soundboard. Just this incredibly dense, thick. It's about the thickness, like 5/8 of an inch, about the same thickness as the drywall, but it's super dense stuff to keep voices and sound from coming through from one room into another. So all the rooms are not only isolated from the ceiling, from the floor above, but also next to each other. Dude, it's I'm so pumped. How are you going to be a dad? Do I need to explain how babies... Is your wife pregnant? My wife is pregnant. Yes. Yep. She is, how many weeks? 37 weeks pregnant. What are you planning to name the baby? Have I shared the name of the baby yet? I don't think I have. Thank you, Ryan, man. I appreciate it. Yes, my wife is pregnant. Feel like the basement would be done by December as your Christmas gift. It's supposed to be done by mid-November. Originally, they told me, like, originally that was the goal, mid-November. And then things started going really fast. And they're like, we'll have this done by the end of October. And now it's going back to things have taken a little bit longer. People have, you know, subcontractors have been late on stuff. And so it looks like it's probably going to be mid-November again. Yeah, no, I'm not. So we're having a girl. We're having a girl. Thank you, Maria. I really appreciate that. Having a girl. I don't think we've announced the name yet because we are not 100% on one, but we are like 90% on one. But it's one of those things, as the dad, I don't think I get to tell you what it is until Kenzie tells me I can tell you what it is. It's definitely a mom decision. Everybody knows that. Konbanwa. Arigatou. Ohayou gozaimasu. Toku desu ka? Women rule the world? You need to watch the video titled "How is Pregnant Formed?" You gonna do a video on her? On the baby? No. I mean, she'll definitely be here and there in our content, but we don't want to make her content. And as she grows, we'll start hiding her face. As she becomes her, you know, an actual person, right? All babies look the same, so it doesn't matter, right? But like once they grow a little bit more, we're going to be a little bit more careful about where we put our little girl on social media, you know? Does Kenzie like being in videos? Yeah. I need to throw out this gum. I don't really have a good place to do it. I don't have a trash can in here. Oh, well. How do you feel about children streaming on YouTube? I think it's the parents' decision. I don't think that is a black and white, good or bad decision. I think as long as the parents are involved in those kind of things, I think it's totally fine. All babies look the same. Babies, we took that personally. Dude, all babies look like a sack of potatoes. Kenzie will always show me a picture of like a cute baby, and I'm like, that's definitely a baby. She's like, look how cute this baby is. And my answer is the same every time. Yep, that is a baby. Because they all look like a sack of potatoes. I don't know why that's a thing. I don't understand why people like show off their baby. Like a baby is a baby. Your baby looks the same as every other baby until it's about 6 months old. And then it starts developing features, you know? What's in the cage behind you right now? Nothing. But sometimes Neko comes in here and he hangs out with me while I stream. No baby review. I would give this baby a 10 out of 10. I should review my baby. Oh my gosh, that's a hilarious idea. I need to put that on the list. I got a list of like TikTok and short ideas and stuff. Reviewing my baby is brilliant. You getting a cat and calling it Inu? I would never get a cat. Sigh. You would, yeah, I would, you will never catch me owning a cat. What happened to the music? That was weird. It just went mute for a second. I want credit for that idea? Deal. Maria, I credit you with this idea. Done. You got credit for it. Top 5 ways to grow your baby in 2022. Oh my gosh. I would like permission to do a review for my baby. I would give this baby a 7 out of 10 because it looks just like every other baby, but it makes me happy except for the times when it cries and I don't know what it wants. Like give me a clue. Are you hungry? Open your mouth. You got to poop? Look down. Let me know. You got to burp? Open your mouth a little bit less than when you want to eat. I don't know. But let your daughter have a unique name, not a common one, telling from experience. See, that's where you get into dangerous territory, though. Because, you see, have you ever... anyone in here live in Utah? You know what I mean. When we talk about names, especially girl names in Utah. Anyone never heard Utah names? Why not call her Series 0? Genius. Wait, Scott, have you really not heard? Have you really not heard any Utah names? Okay, hold on. Scott just moved to Utah 6 months ago, so I understand why maybe. Hold on, Utah names. Let's look at some real 50 Utah names that are entirely unique. I really hope this is unnecessarily unique Utah names. Here, let's go with this one. See what we got here. These are real, by the way. Just so you know, Utah names have a very unique flair. I'm going to tell you if I've ever known anyone named these. Okay, so far a lot of these are like biblical names. Alma is a scriptural name. Ammon is a scriptural name. Amos, I think, is also a scriptural name. Brigham, you can probably figure out where that's from. Beckett, I've never known a Beckett. I've known a Dallin. Is that a Utah name? Dallin? I know a Gideon. In fact, there's a Gideon that lives on my street. Is also a scriptural name. Do you live in Utah? I do live in Utah. I live in Provo. Jared sounds like a normal name. It's also a scriptural name in Utah. Paisley. Here's where it gets good. Paisley. Hold on. These aren't the best ones. These aren't the best ones. Unnecessarily unique names. I'm looking for very specific. Here we go. We're getting better. Getting better. Rayleigh. Katana? I've never met a Katana. Maylee. I know a Maylee. Spelled without the E. Good friend of mine's wife is named Maylee. Rianne or Ryan. I knew a girl named Ryan spelled similar to this. Carmody. Carmody sounds very Utah. Celestlyn. Celestlyn is very Utah. You know, why don't we just watch the video? Are you guys familiar with video Utah names at all? Have you guys seen this? Is Provo near Salt Lake? It's about 30 to 45 minutes south of Salt Lake. Got my ZVE10. It's amazing, dude. It's a good camera. All right, hold on. I just want you to know this is very real. Okay, these are legitimate Utah names. I've known people named most of these names. I've known people named it.
Can you tell us your name and where you're from?
My name's Honesty, and I'm from Pleasant Grove, Utah.
Can you spell that for us?
P-L-E...
No, your name.
A-U-N-I-S-T-E-E.
It's very real.
My name's Kinsley. I'm Emerson. My name's Michelle. Skylee. Sarah. Zaylee. Taylor.
I knew Taylor.
Elizabeth. Tasman.
I knew it.
Ashlyn.
I knew
I'm
Ashlyn.
Aspen, and I'm from Spanish.
I've known an Aspen.
Angel. My name's Brinley Brielle.
Known a
I'm
Brinley.
the oldest of 11 children. Lindsay. Scotland. Reagan. My parents were really into the letter B. I have a sister named Brooklyn. Boston.
They call me Help.
Mary. Serenity. Hey, my name's Nicole. I go to hair school. Grayson. Bexley. Abigail. Cheyenne. Hey.
Yeah, is this news to anyone? This is very, very real.
Haven. Evelyn. Blazin. Demery. Aniston. Shaylin. I'm Lakel. Andrea.
Lakel.
I'm Shakel. Brittany. I have a cousin named Brittany.
Yeah, Brittany spelled weird. These ones are two, like Brecklin, Boston, Bexley, Bevlin, Blazin. These are all real. It's so weird.
Harlan, Talon, Riley, Brady. My brother's name's Braden. My name's Talia, and I'm Miss Panguitch, Utah. Briannon, Brevik, and Brintle.
Brevik.
Sunny May. We're from Bountiful. Kiara. I'm Stormy. I'm Rainy. We're sisters. Tarina.
It's
Jaylin.
so bad.
Carly. Cameron.
It's so bad.
Kinsley. Cambry. Kimber.
Chastity.
Chastity.
Mackenzie. Michaela. McKenna. My name's Tiara. I'm from Hurricane, Utah. And I'm a first place rodeo queen. McKaylee. Mikkel.
I've known a McKaylee and a McKell.
McKendry. My best event is definitely hog wrestling. Samaria. Kennedy. Taylor.
Kennedy.
Kaylin. McKagan. Haiti. Hollis. Gentry. McKendry.
I like how her hair gets more crazy like throughout the whole video.
McQuaid. Macy. Charzad. Macasia.
Like those are 100% real. Freaking Utah, man. So that's why you understand the hesitancy when you say make sure you name her something unique. I'm like, hold up. Stormy's pretty good. Stormy and rainy, no, it's okay as long as you don't spell it like the adjective, you know? You just like porn star names? I feel like I disagree. I feel like it's a very different breed. These are like the opposite of porn star names. You got totally different ends of the spectrum. You know, like sometimes it becomes like, usually things are actually a full circle. Kind of like you're playing Mario and you get to, 99,999 points and it gets so many points that it resets back to zero. And like how like politics works the same way. You get people who are crazy left and crazy right and you realize, oh my gosh, these are basically the same person. But for some reason they hate each other. I feel like that's kind of the same general idea when it comes to Utah names and porn star names. That's probably fair. My sister's name is Annalicia from Pleasant Grove, Utah. There's a Stormy Daniels and an Aspen Brock in the industry. Interesting. Good to know. Wait a minute. Isn't Stormy Daniels the one chick from like Trump's friend? Do you think shorts should be on the main channel? There should be separate channels. I think in general, it should be on the same channel. Like how we switched. See that segue? There wasn't even a segue there. We went straight from Trump's porn star friends to shorts on which channel? You know? Because heck a segue. Heck a segue. Guys, for real though, can we just use this stream for good? Is there any dad advice? I don't know if there are any dads in chat. Can you just in chat, if you had one piece of dad advice, could you give it to me? That'd be really great. Still shocked by all those names? Yes, as someone who grew up outside of Utah, both Kenzie and I grew up outside of Utah. I'm from Nevada. She's from New Hampshire. It's definitely culture shock, you know? Don't drop your child. Okay. Sleep now. Don't eat yellow snow. Oh my gosh. Good balance of love and discipline. I feel like that's fair. I feel like in general the key is consistency, you know? How'd you and Kenzie meet? We met through my cousin. I was invited to a Memorial Day. You ready for this? This is a little sad. I was invited to a Memorial Day barbecue by my cousin. His parents were in town. And before I got there and they pulled me into the RV, they'd driven there in the RV and they were like, hey, just so you know, a girl's coming today. And he, you know, your cousin and she have a little bit of a thing going on and we're really hoping it works out because she's a really nice, really sweet girl. And we really think she could be a good influence on him and maybe, you know, help him come back to church. I was like, oh, okay, cool. And then I married her. And long story short, he is not back at church. So when are you gonna hook me up like this? You stole your cousin's girl? She was not his girl. I'm from Carson City, Ryan. Learn the power of saying no, especially little girls. Fathers have an especially hard time with that. I feel that, dude. Kenzie has a hard time, has a really hard, like I'm not saying puppies are the same as babies, but there's a parallel there. We've had a little puppy for 2 months now, and she knows it. She knows it. That dog, I'm definitely the dog's favorite, but the dog also listens to me a little bit more and respects me a little bit more because she's really bad at being forceful or strong with him. You know, he's doing something wrong and she goes, no. She's got to scare him a little bit. The dog needs to know that when I tell him no, he needs to stop, you know? It's hard. Did I grow up in Battle Mountain? Oh, I'm very familiar with Battle Mountain. Oh, yeah. Right off the 80. Paris will set up a Go XLR with time for bed type snippets of his voice now. Just have like little nursery rhymes on my Go XLR sampler. That's the way to just put little headphones on her. When it's time for her to go to bed, just like put little headphones on her and play little lullabies from the Go XLR. Take pictures, take lots of pictures. Don't ever use the belt. Oh, I feel like that is very good, awful advice. Oh. How familiar with Battle Mountain? I've stayed up there a couple times at the campgrounds up there. Best dad advice I have is that as your child grows up, always be there for when your kids need you. That said, always remember that you are the boss and what you say goes. That's an interesting thought, because there's always that. It's so easy to say that as like a general statement. I'm very grateful that my parents were always there when I needed them, but they also recognized when I wanted them but I didn't need them, and they let me fail. That's something that I feel like a lot of parents have a hard time with, letting your kids learn lessons, you know, themselves. You'll never need a baby wipe warmer ever. Just rub it in your hands to warm it up. I didn't know baby wipe warmers were a thing. StreamBeats lullabies. We've talked about doing StreamBeats lullabies. Thought about like maybe it might be a fun thing to do like with the baby. Maybe as it grows and there's actually a need for it. It's not a terrible idea. It's just, you got to ask the question of how is the core demographic going to, like, is it going to eventually be profitable, and is it going to grow it in the direction that we want, right? What made you want to start learning Japanese? What was the motive? Hold on, this actually. I got invited to E3. A buddy of mine and myself, we got invited to E3. And it was when Breath of the Wild was like almost released. I got to play it early, and I got to like vlog it a little bit. It was pretty early in my career. I didn't have a huge gaming following yet. It was long before the Alpha Gaming channel. It was just on my personal channel. I got to test out Breath of the Wild, and then I looked at my buddy Sean's Snapchat and saw him doing this.
We get to hang out
Whoa, that is really loud. Sorry, guys.
for you guys, so good job.
I had like dabbled in Japanese because I was like watching anime, and I was like, oh, this would be really cool. I'd love to learn Japanese. It's such an interesting language. So I'd like gotten Rosetta Stone and like dabbled a little bit, but not really giving it a good effort. And then I look at this and I see him interviewing Shigeru Miyamoto with a translator, and I was like, mother effer. Like, if I had taken my Japanese seriously to the point where I could be conversational, I could have done this. I could have interviewed Shigeru Miyamoto. When is the next time they're going to ask a content creator to interview Shigeru Miyamoto? This was my chance, and if I could actually speak with him, there's a good chance they would have asked me. Maybe not. But I was mad at myself that I didn't take it seriously enough, and I missed an opportunity. That I felt like I failed myself by not taking it seriously. And so I said that day, I was like, I'm going to learn to speak this language. That way, if there's ever opportunities like this to work again directly with Nintendo or Shigeru Miyamoto or anything, I'm going to be the one that does it.
Okay. I got
Okay. Anyway, that was my motivation. I was mad at myself for that. I felt like I failed myself. I don't know if there's any better motivator than failure. People are so afraid to fail. But like that failure, that feeling of like, if I had only done this, I could have gotten this. Nothing drives you more. Shouldn't say nothing. There are some failures. There are some serious motivators that people undervalue. I think failure is a big one, and I do think we're talking about parenting. I do think parents are too afraid to let their kids fail. Let your kids fail. Let your kids taste that. Let them know the difference between success and failure. That difference in serotonin and dopamine between success and failure, like when you can not just be told what the difference is, but like if you don't understand what failure is, you don't understand the value and the feeling of success. But also on top of that, I think spite. I think people undervalue spite. There's a one of my biggest, I shouldn't say biggest motivators. Early on, it was a big motivator. Is I had an investor back out, and I felt like it was an unjustified opinion. He only gave me like 3 months. He invested for like 3 months, and he's like, I'm out. And it was such a slap to the face. And I wanted to make sure if I was ever in a room with that guy again, that I would be, that I would have accomplished what he could have been invested in. I wanted him to be able to look at that and go like, man, I could have gotten in on this so early. Dude, he had 30% of the company. He had 30% of the company, and he pulled out, and I gave him the money back, and he gave me my shares back, and it was not a lot of money. And he could have 30% of this company right now. I just, that spite, that anger, I mean, I'm not angry at him anymore, but just that chip on your shoulder, dude, don't underestimate the value of spite. Still taking Japanese lessons 3 times a week. Thanks for clarifying. Big fan of learning Japanese. Big fan of the learning Japanese video in a month. So I was curious. Oh, shoot. That was a fun process. Honestly, guys, can we just nerd out here for a second? If you made all the money you wanted to do, if you made all the money you wanted to make, and you could just like, if you could retire in your 30s, what would you do with your time? Because I don't think I would be happy just like traveling everywhere. Like, don't get me wrong, like I love traveling, but you need like the struggle. The struggle is such a huge part of my life. Like, I need to be pushing a boulder. I need to. So what would you do if you had time and money in your 30s? You didn't have to work. What would you do? That'd be a big one. I would absolutely go back to taking Japanese lessons every single day. I would not, I mean, I'd obviously have the opportunity to like travel to Japan and spend weeks there and all that stuff. And that would be awesome. But that'd be something I would do, is I would absolutely take a Japanese lesson every single day. Hey, I hope you're having a great day. Not sure if someone told you yet, but your YouTube thumbnail for this live, the camera handle is behind your top hand, not in your top hand. I think someone mentioned that earlier, and I've never actually looked at it. Oh, it's like behind the thumb. I actually kind of like that. It got you to click on it. Thanks, Spotlight. Rock climbing, living in an RV. I would hate that. Good for you. I'm happy for you. That sounds like my nightmare. I would do a lot of photography. I'd pursue my passion in photography and video as well, making meaningful, fun content. Yeah. So that's another thing I would do. I would like entirely dive headfirst into like the Harris Heller channel, and just like, there's so many things I just want to do. Like I did the 30-day thing. Like, I love these 30-day challenges where you just try something new and you test yourself and you push your limits and stuff. And I want to do a lot of that. I just struggle with the time and the effort right now. My brain is so taken up with everything I'm doing right now. I wish I just had the time to do that kind of stuff. So that would be definitely something I would do, is I would like start just making beautiful content for me and enjoying the process. It's really hard to enjoy the process when the success of your company is a big part of it, right? Like, I have to look at the numbers. I have to look at the analytics. I have to see which videos are doing well, which ones aren't. I have to focus on that because I have 5 full-time employees under me that completely rely on me. So I can't just enjoy the process. I have to make sure the content is good. I would love to get back to just straight up enjoying the process. That's why Kenzie stopped making music for a while. The process wasn't enjoyable anymore. When you're sitting there, you're like, I want to do music for a living, but I got this music YouTube channel, And I have to, in order, if I don't make, I haven't put out a video in 3 weeks. I have to put up a cover. What's a relevant song? What's something that's going to give views? This song is a week and a half old. There's already 100 covers on it. I can't do that. What's the next song? I hear this artist is coming out with a song in a week and a half. Do we make one before then, or do we wait a week and a half and get that one? Like, it's this mess of not being able to enjoy the process because you have to be consistent, because that's the way social media goes, you know? It's rough. How frequently do you take vacations during the year? Like, never. We took like a 3-day vacation down to St. George. 3-night, 3.5 vacation down to St. George. I guess technically 4-day vacation. It was amazing. That was the biggest vacation I've had in a long time. And even then, still posting shorts and tweeting and being active on social media. I would stick with the job I then had, but get rid of fear of screwing up, as money doesn't matter anymore, and then decide to do that anyway. Yeah, if you love the job, that is, dude, losing that fear of failure is so, dude, it's such an anxiety factor. I would love to just do what I do and not care if it succeeds. I'd love that. How to integrate your console into dual PC setup. It's really confusing. Shouldn't be too hard. You just have another capture card for your console, and then you go into the console input on like a GoX. You just need to make sure you're capturing audio. You can have your GoX, or you can have your capture card capture the audio and have it still pass through the audio, and that'll work fine too. The hardest part about console is audio. For sure. Capturing it's easy, but I haven't done console streaming in like 4 years, so I'm not really the best one to look at for that. I plan on potentially putting like a PlayStation in the next stream room in like a month. So we'll see. If I decide to do that and I learn some stuff, I'll let you know for sure. Because that is definitely a mess. You only streaming on YouTube now? Yeah. Do you remember what score you got in your PSAT? I don't know what a PSAT is. I took an SAT. On the SATs, I remember I got, so it was only out of 1400 back then. I got a 1280. I got a 780 on the math. I missed like one question. I got a 780 on the math. And then I got like, because they were both out of 800, math and reading comprehension. I got a 780 on math and like a 400 on reading because I lose focus. Oh, it's doing the thing where it drops crazy frames again. I got to figure out why it's doing that. It's driving me nuts. What's up, John? How you doing, man? What games you play in your downtime? A lot of Apex. Play a lot of Apex because the whole Senpai group plays Apex. Once Sam gets here, we'll play a little bit more Valorant. I'm excited to get more into Valorant. Until I had 500,000 subs, I used to use the camera border from the Alpha Game. Oh, dope. Thanks, man. Yeah, we just moved over to YouTube. Really trying to focus on getting back into posting consistently on YouTube. I haven't done a very good job. Building up a system for shorts right now, and then I'll be able to jump more heavily into long form videos. Any tips for streaming videos in an apartment, soundproofing and whatnot? Yeah, so soundproofing, I assume you're talking about your sound leaking into other people's rooms. Or are you talking about your room sounding too echo? Dude, seriously, we're dropping insane frames. Does it look like that for you guys too? Or is it just in the preview window? Oh, actually, it might be fine on YouTube. It's hard to tell. But like if I open up stats, OBS stats, 0 dropped frames. 0 dropped frames. It's like it's happening before OBS. Driving me insane. I can't figure out what it is. And it doesn't happen. It doesn't happen in 4K capture utility. It's only in OBS. Looks smooth here. Looks fine. Looks normal to me. I wonder if it's just the OBS preview window right now then. Maybe that's all it is. Maybe everything's fine. Sometimes it comes through to the stream. Sometimes it's just in the preview window. It's really weird. Oh, well, I'm not going to worry about it then. Sound bleeding into the video in an apartment. Yeah. So what you're trying to do to stop that is you need density. And that's really hard to do. You know, you can put something on the walls. Another thing you can do is you can use a dynamic mic instead of a condenser mic, because they're generally better at only isolating what's directly in front of you, and anything farther away doesn't pick up as much. So that would also be a really good option, is to use a dynamic microphone. But those two things, I should say three things. One, adding density to your walls to keep stuff from leaking through, whether that's put something up against the wall, stuff like thick rubber. If you can get like some kind of thick rubber padding, that's obviously the hardest one. A dynamic mic is the second option. The last one is get the mic really close to your mouth. That's a big one. Getting the mic right up in your grill. It's called improving your signal to noise ratio. Your signal, meaning your voice, and the noise being everything else that you don't want to pick up. So if you can get closer to your mouth, your signal, you're not making the noise lower, but you're making your signal higher. Therefore, you can lower everything equally. So that's signal to noise ratio. What do you think of the HyperX Quadcast? I think it's all right. I think it looks awesome. I think it sounds pretty good. There are better sounding mics, but it's a cool RGB mic. It's one of the coolest looking mics I think out there. It's definitely the most gamery looking mic, but it's a little bit mid-frequency heavy. It makes you sound a little bit muddy. So if you're going to use it, I would recommend finding some software that you can use to kind of scoop out the 500 hertz range, maybe 2 or 3 decibels. What's up, the Pyro? How you doing, brother? You still using your Go XLR with that mic? If so, would it be possible to get your EQ settings? Yeah, sure. Here, I'm going to show them for just a second. Make sure you clip it or screenshot it. Because this is YouTube, you can actually rewind. Right? Here. This is it right here. I'll hold it up for another 3 or 4 seconds. Screenshot it. Clip it. Whatever you want to do. I don't care. There you go. Chris, welcome back for 3 months. Thank you. It's interesting. Can we talk? Can we, I want to be transparent here on this channel for a second, because I want to talk about this like a business and not bring any emotion into this, because it's very hard to talk about this without directly feeling impact on your psyche. By the way, if any of you are just popping in here, please hit the like button. Helps out a ton. Why do you stream on this channel, not the Alpha Gaming channel? I guess you would have reached 1 million by now because you got a lot of subscribers over there. Because I am not the Alpha Gaming channel. I don't want to be Alpha Gaming. I have a channel that I'd really like to curate. I want to do more than just streaming advice. I'd like to build a personal brand, like, so I can post videos like the last one where I did a Japanese lesson every day for a month, like stuff like that. I want to do more business-minded, personal growth-minded, entrepreneurship-minded stuff. And so I want to grow a personal brand. And so there's going to be a struggle, right? We got a low, in general, this is a little bit more of an intimate stream. It's Saturday morning, right? So we got 125 people. Usually we're between 200 and 300, which is a huge drop down from Twitch. If you move from Twitch, you're going to lose viewership in general. It's just the way it is, and that's okay. And the reason the channel's not growing as much as I'd like it to right now, which I understand, I know why. It's because I'm only posting a video on this channel like every 2 or 3 months, because that's all I have time for. So right now, what I'm doing, just so you guys, if I can like pull back the curtain a little bit so you guys can see, I'm in the middle of building out the infrastructure of the Senpai business, right? So we've got 2 editors now, and Sam, we're trying to get Sam to move here now that the White House has announced UK citizens can move. I guess he's not UK anymore. Britons can come here. We're working on that. We're working on hiring more people. We just hired a brand manager to help with things like shorts and content on the channel, trying to build that out so I can start focusing more on this channel and on this content. And it's going to take some time. And I have to I had to be okay with these numbers going down. That's just a part of it. Did you start putting ads on your stream? I wanted to experiment with doing, I never put any non-skippable ads. I always uncheck non-skippable ads. So the longest ad you'll get is 5 seconds. I want to see what the ad revenue on streaming on YouTube is like compared to Twitch and see if there's a discrepancy at all. See if you can actually make good money from ads on YouTube. I turned them off for a long time because you don't make any money on ads on Twitch. But if I can bring them down to 5 seconds maximum and still actually make income, that seems like a really good option. England is as a part of the UK. They left EU. Okay, UK and EU, whatever. You guys know what I mean. I'm so confused. I don't understand how all those countries or the one country or whatever. I don't know how it works. Hey, can you give me some tips on how to develop an editing style? Yes, edit a lot. That's the only. There is no other answer. Edit a lot and watch your favorite channels and try to mimic their style. Those two things. Take pieces from this one, pieces from this one. Every great editor has inspiration, and as they get better, they get more independent. But you don't figure out an editing style until you've tried 3 or 4 and you figure out what you like and what works for you. And then you start, when you become more familiar with the tools, you start experimenting. That's how you do it. But yeah, how do I apply? Oh no, we're about as grown as we can. So this is the weird thing I've learned. So you hire people to help you produce a product, right? This is the thing that I'm learning right now. You hire people to help you produce a product, but you can't just hire someone and go to them and say, this is what I need, right? Because a product has to be built. And a machine, whether it's a physical machine, like if you're building cars, or whether it's a mental machine or a system, in order to create that product also has to be built. And you can't expect the person who's building the thing, who's trying to make you the product and run the machine, to also build the machine. So like, for example, we're working on, hey, let's get shorts up every day. I'd like a short every day. You can't just say that and then expect a short every day. You have to work with them and figure out what system works not only for you, but also for them. And how is this going to become an efficient, well-oiled machine so that I can step back and expect a short to be edited and ready to upload every single day. And it's exhausting. It's great, but that transitional period, right? You expect like, hey, you hire someone, you're paying this extra amount of money for someone. You expect that money to have a return, and like, okay, I don't have to, that this will lift a load off my back. You don't realize that for the next couple months, it's adding a load. When you're creating a system that didn't exist before and teaching that person to use it, and you essentially still have to do the system yourself with the person, but also build a machine that someone else can use. It's about double the amount of work. Every time you hire someone, it's double the amount of work until that system is built and that person can work autonomously. And then it lifts off your shoulders, right? It's very interesting. You always expect hiring someone to just make things easy. And they do eventually, as long as you hire the right person, but it does make things hard for a little bit. Is Mav in here? Excited for you to be a dad? I'm excited for me to be a dad. We're getting close. Getting close. 3.5 weeks. November 10th is the date. I'm going to try to see how much time I can take off. When I'm in the, I'm not going to be like streaming or anything during like that week, but I'll probably just live on my YouTube stories or something and just like make that my outlet. Looking to hire any music producers? Not now, but eventually probably. Becoming a dad is amazing, but time for hobbies magically disappears. See, here's the thing, though. Here's the thing. If you manage to turn your hobbies into the career that supports said child, you're kind of obligated to keep doing your hobbies, aren't you? First 8 weeks are brutal, but they're amazing and go so fast. All right. All right. I will look forward to it. I will keep that in mind. Angry Bosch. Congrats, Papa. Dude, thank you for the super chat. I appreciate you. Does StreamBeats sponsor streamers? We've talked about potentially doing that. I don't think it's a terrible idea. I think it'd be fun. It's not a top priority. It's not anything we're doing anytime soon until we feel like we have exhausted all the other options above it that we think will do well. What's probably going to happen is instead of StreamBeats sponsoring streamers, I think Senpai is going to sign streamers. I've had it's not anything soon, but I've had a dream of turning Senpai into an org, not only Senpai Gaming, but also Senpai Records. I think the music industry is going to go a very similar direction as the gaming industry, but it was easier for the gaming industry to take those steps because the gaming industry was so new that it was so much more liquid. The music industry is such a convoluted joke. It's a giant mess. You still have to pay us for a sync license. You know why it's called a sync license? Because we used to have to sync audio and video in silent films. So we still use those terms because it's still integrated into the system. A system that we made for silent films is still integrated into the music industry. So that's why the music industry doesn't progress very fast, because it has been cemented in its ways, and you can't change one thing without the entire thing falling apart. So anyway, that's why the music industry is always so far behind. But I think there is room for the music industry to take notes from the gaming industry. And I'd like to do that. We'll see. Instead of how to grow a channel, people will be asking how to raise a child. So be prepared. Oh, I don't think I'm going to be the best person to answer those things. I was deployed. You don't really know. That's the thing. Like, you don't know if you're right until the child is grown. And then you take a look at your 20-year-old and you're like, okay, how well did I do? I know how well I did based on how this human functions in society, but you can't really know until that child is a functioning member of society, you know? I don't know. Do you think Trovo is good? Not today. I think it could be, but until they start actually doing something different than Twitch, I don't think there's any point in being. I don't think they nearly stand a chance compared to YouTube. Trovo just seems like a knockoff Twitch right now that has a lot of money behind it. How do you and your team collaborate and manage your video content? Any software processes that helps? Yeah. So we use frame.io, which is great for when Scott finishes an edit. He throws it on Frame. I can go through and I can leave time-stamped notes throughout it that he then goes and he fixes, updates, uploads a new version of the video onto Frame. We use Frame a lot. It's a little buggy, and it was just bought by Adobe, which we're a little concerned about. That's a big one. Frame.io is probably our biggest tool that we use. The other one is the NAS. So the NAS is a network attached storage. I believe that's what NAS stands for. Network. I know it's network and storage. I believe the A stands for attached. And that's worked a little differently because now Scott lives 15 minutes away, so I just bring him footage. But when I was filming and Sam was editing in the UK, I had a hard drive that was connected to the internet, and when I was done filming, it's attached. Okay. When I was done filming, I would upload my footage, or I would upload my footage to this NAS that was sitting in the next room over. And then Sam would be able to download that footage from a website that had access to this thing. So, I mean, we're talking like 50 gigs, 40, 50 gigs of footage every single video. So I tried to get it to him before he went to bed at night. and he would just have it downloading all night. And so then he would, then he'd have it. You'd be able to edit the video, and the edited video he'd upload to Frame. That's how it worked. YouTube Live or Facebook Gaming? Which is better to start on right now? YouTube Live. I genuinely don't consider Facebook a good option for content creators, and I won't until they show that they want to be in the content creation game. Again, Facebook, I'll say this is the best metaphor. Facebook is the Walmart of content creation. They don't do anything very well. Everything, but they have so much money. They have such a massive infrastructure that, like, YouTube had something cool. They're like, hey, let's throw it in there. Twitch had something cool. Let's throw it in there. But their site isn't built around pushing content creation. That's not where the money comes from. The money comes from putting ads on aunts and uncles screaming and yelling about politics and vaccines and stuff. That's where they make all their money. And then selling your data. And there's no possible way that gamers are going to match anywhere close to that income. And so you will never be their top priority. Business-wise. You individually are never any business's top priority. Keep in mind, as soon as you don't make them money, they don't care. And that's how businesses work. That's fine. It's the same. As soon as you can't make a living off a website, you're not going to stream there. It's a symbiotic relationship. There's nothing offensive about saying a business doesn't care about you. They care about your money. That's a business. That's what a business does. But as long as they make money selling your data and putting ads on vaccine misinformation, you will never be a priority to them, because there's just no way that someone dropping subs and bits will ever make them as much money as your data. Versus a platform like YouTube, which again has their issues, and they are also a business, and they don't care about you individually, but they do care about creating a platform conducive to content creation. That's what they care about. They have to, because it is their bread and butter. So if you want to look at what platform is going to make the most changes to benefit their creators, which platform is going to build a platform that every creator wants to be on because it makes them the most money, it makes them the best, it's the best option for a career, it's going to be YouTube. Facebook gaming is big in other countries. Yes, that's true. That's true. There are countries where what I'm saying, by the way, I'm speaking to my experience. Keep in mind, you're talking to someone in Utah, right? So it is big in other countries. And if you live in a country where the majority of people who watch streams in your language watch it on Facebook, then stream on Facebook. That makes a lot of sense. Of course you should stream on Facebook. That's where you're going to have the most options for a career. You should always stream there. So keep in mind, no advice is a perfect blanket statement. I'm just speaking to my own experience. Sam's bed just came in like 30 minutes ago. He's ready to get here now. That's all I needed. I noticed something. We were talking about Sam flying out here on the 10th, and I totally spaced. That's Kenzie's due date. Sam's going to be getting here, and I might not be able to meet him for like 2 days, 3 days, maybe even 4 days, depending on how it goes. So it just kind of is what it is. As long as, someone else can pick him up from the airport and he can get settled and start working and stuff, he might spend the first couple days here not seeing me. It is what it is. I'm sad Nick Merck stays on Twitch. Why? I want there to be as much of a fire under YouTube's butt as possible. And the longer, the more difficult it is for, because YouTube wants to be the social media, the content conglomerate. They are not going to sit back and go, you know what, guys, it's not worth it. It's YouTube. That's not going to happen. They are already this far in. They're not turning back now. So the more difficult it is, the harder they're going to work. The more people like Nick Merck sign with Twitch, and YouTube sits back and goes, okay, this isn't going to be a given. This isn't going to be a gimme. We got to figure this out. The more they're going to figure it out. The more they're going to make the place appealing to those streamers. Which platform is best for short form content? That's the best thing about short form content. You can post it to all of them. Do you notice that every single YouTube shorts I also throw up on TikTok? I should be throwing them up on I should be throwing them up on Instagram also. In fact, I'm probably just going to start doing that this week. Just throwing them up as reels. I wanted to start. I've been waiting to do it because I've wanted to start posting more photos. And the moment I have Senpai HQ and Adrian is working from the office and Sam is working from the office, and at least multiple times, you know, maybe not every day, but at least multiple times a week, we have a space where people come in. It's like, hey, let's grab a picture. Let's throw it on. Hey, we're doing something cool. Can you grab a camera and take a picture of it real quick and throw some stuff on Instagram? I was waiting because Instagram has always been a photo platform, and I didn't just want it to be a TikTok repost place, but they're kind of turning it into a video platform. I'm starting to think that's what I should be doing. Just throwing it up. And by the way, you have to refresh Facebook like 3 to 4 times a day because of bugs. Facebook is a terrible platform. Dude, Facebook gives us the most problems with, Facebook gives us the most issues with StreamBeats. And we cannot get help from them. They pull down streams that use StreamBeats. We have submitted all of our music into their system. We have let them know it's safe. They don't care. Because it's easier to just pull it down. They don't want to figure it out. And that's fine. I get it. They're the Walmart. They don't need to cater to the gaming industry. They don't want to cater to the gaming industry. X webcam HD XYZ. Here, girls will do what you say. How long has that been being played? Oh my gosh. Look at this. That's so funny. This guy's banned, right? Okay, yeah. That's so funny. Anyway, so that's, I mean, Facebook has advantages. Facebook, if you don't think, like if you just want to make a couple $1,000s a month, I've known streamers who went from nothing to $3,000 or $4,000 a month in a couple months because Facebook is the most shareable platform. It has the most people using it. It has you don't start from scratch because you already have all your friends and family built into it. I don't know how many. I haven't been on Facebook in like a year, but I probably have a couple thousand friends on Facebook. I don't know. You immediately start from something, and that's a big deal. People you have an actual intimate relationship. Shock Tour, welcome to the True Senpais. Thank you so much. Do you agree that reaction channels don't put enough time editing and making them stand out from other reaction channels? I haven't spent enough time watching reaction channels to judge the editing and the videography of them. I don't know. Please tell you Apex, I'd want to play with you. Please tell you Apex. Yeah, dude. We haven't done a 24-hour stream in a while, but when we did 24-hour streams, I always spent some time playing with viewers. And now that our viewership is by the way, once Senpai HQ is done, once my stream room is done, I plan on doing a 24-hour stream. So that'll be a lot of fun. We'll definitely have to play with some viewers now that our viewer size, once we got up to like 1,000 viewers, it became totally unmanageable. And there was not a chance that I was like, I remember we spent like 8 hours playing with everybody just once on the last 24-hour stream. It was rough. And we only did subs. I couldn't get to non-subs because we spent 8 hours playing with subs my last 24-hour stream on Twitch. So once we finish the new room, let's do a 24-hour stream. And assuming we're still at around like 200 to 300 viewers, hopefully we're not, but we're talking like in a month. So probably will be. We'll play some games. We'll do a 24-hour stream. We'll play with some viewers. Hella Baby Cup. We could do a Hella Baby Cup. Let's think about that. That could be really cool. We used to do this thing called the Hella Baby Cup when my viewers were called the Hella Babies, which isn't really a thing anymore. And we used to have like 3 teams. It was the oh my gosh, Blue Shell. No, it's Superstar Society. There's BSA, Blue Shell Alliance, and What was the last one? Blue Shell, Superstar. Oh my gosh, I can't remember the other one. Maria, help me out. Quick question. What mic are you using? This is the Rode Pod mic. Superstar Society, Blue Shell Army. And what was the last one, Maria? What's the third one? Mushroom? The GMA, Gold Mushroom Association? Was it the Golden Mushrooms? I don't remember. It was a mushroom. Oh, but it changed to Squid. No, Squid Gaming was another thing. There was a Golden Mushroom Association or something. I don't remember. Anyway, and so during 24-hour streams, these fraternities would compete. The problem is it got a little too competitive, and you know, people would get in fights with each other and they'd want to leave, and I'd be like, that's not the point. And it didn't work out as well as I thought it would. No one was in GMA? You know, that actually looks kind of nice. I know it's super overexposed out there, but I don't hate it. I just don't know why it opened. Anyway, guys, I'm going to get to work on the next videos. Thank you guys for being here. Thank you guys for hanging out. Also, I have to go up and help Kenzie go up and pick up a rocking chair for the nursery. We're heading out like right now. Thank you guys for hanging out. Next Monday is the Apple. I'm going to be streaming during the Apple release. Does anyone know the legality? Like, does Apple want people to restream it? I might try restreaming the Apple event. You guys want to watch the Apple event? I've been waiting for this laptop announcement for like a year. I'm so excited for this Apple announcement. The M1X MacBook Pros. You guys want to watch it? We're going to watch it. We're going to watch it on Monday. Guys, have an awesome one. Thank you for hanging out. I will see you on Monday. I wouldn't restream Apple stuff. They're nuts. Yeah, but they also don't make money on the stream. Like, it's one thing to like restream the Olympics where like they make money by people watching their, like, the more people watch their broadcast, the more money they make. They're not profiting off watching it on Apple. So like, I feel like it might be okay. Maybe we'll like zoom in. I don't know. I'm going to do some research and we might give that a shot. Anyway, guys, thanks for hanging out. I really appreciate it. I'll see you guys on Monday. Love you guys. Peace.